And welcome back to PoorConsult's YouTube channel. It's been a while since we have posted the last video. Haven't been posting videos for some time. It's really nice to see you back and have you back on our channel. I'm sorry, haven't been posting videos for a while, being quite a busy of building different applications, decentralized applications for PoorConsult for our company. As you can see here, we have lots of things coming. We haven't been wasting our time. We have this KukuLala NFTs pre-sale scheduled on August 7. We have creating our PoorConsult decentralized autonomous organization. It's gonna go live on August 4. You can go check our PoorConsult Telegram channel, analytics channel. You can find more information about it, and of course about the markets and trading, investing, and analytics on everything going on in cryptoverse. You can find it in our PoorConsult analytics channel. But for these NFTs, play to earn games, the DAO that we are creating, it's almost ready now. The NFTs related to it, we're gonna have a separate video on it coming out on YouTube soon, so definitely stay tuned for it. But for now, I want to focus your attention to the programming. This video is again about programming, and as you know, we have only 3 videos posted so far on our YouTube channel. We have the Learn Solidity Beginners course, we have the second part and the third part, all dedicated to Solidity and blockchain programming. However, we stopped it. You see, the last video was posted around a month ago and we didn't continue, so I'm happy to tell you that from today on we're gonna keep on posting our videos on everything related to blockchain and cryptocurrencies in the scope of our PoorConsult YouTube channel. And you can also, if you have been enjoying and watching our videos, we are sorry one more time to stop posting videos, and we're gonna continue from today on. So you're basically gonna have a video each day for the upcoming days, weeks, months, and forever. I hope so. So in today's video, we're gonna continue our topic on programming. Right. And what I want to say is that I remember receiving lots of comments and feedbacks previously when I was posting the Solidity programming videos, people asking me how about the continuation of it, in a sense that once the smart contract, the Solidity contract is ready, obviously these 3 parts are not enough to write the fully functional smart contract. We're gonna have some more parts coming out in the coming of days. But for those of you who are already familiar with Solidity and would like to jump to the next part and try to create your decentralized application based on the smart contracts, then so those people were asking me how about the front-end development part of this entire process. Which development tool I'm gonna use, how we are gonna create our user interface, user experience, this, because there is no fully functional dApp without the front end, right? No matter how well your back-end smart contract is written, you still need a front end to make your decentralized application fully functional. So with that being said, in today's video we're gonna focus on React.js, the JavaScript library, because the most of the dApps are being built using React. All right, so it's the most famous tool of building decentralized applications, and not only decentralized applications, but in Web 2, the programmers, if you are familiar with it, you know that people have been using React for so much time already. So we're gonna still use React. However, this course is not a course dedicated to React itself. All right, if you want to have a deep knowledge in that programming area aspect, you better take some courses dedicated to React itself. You can find lots of interesting courses on Udemy or some other channels, I don't know. So in today's video is just first of all, it's very beginner friendly. All right, it's from scratch. So if you are an experienced programmer, be it a Web 2 or Web 3 programmer, blockchain developer, you won't find it interesting, rather it will be very boring for you. However, if you are a beginner and if you have never ever written any piece of code, or if you have but just a very beginner level, all right, then you're gonna find this video interesting for you and hopefully you will enjoy it. All right. So with that said, we're gonna touch the React only up to the point where we use React.js in our decentralized application building process. All right, so don't expect much from this React part of this course, because it's just gonna touch the very basics, but those things that are necessary for you to be able to use React.js to create your decentralized applications based on the Solidity contracts that I suppose you have already written and are ready, and now are just trying to create the front end part of your application. All right, that was a bit of a mouthful, but now let's get back to the work, and you will find how easy it is and how easily you're gonna understand the concept of it. So first of all, guys, let me show you. Let's go back to Safari. So right in here, what you have to have, first of all, you need to have the code editor. All right, so you can download your local IDE. I'm gonna use Visual Studio Code. You use whatever the code editor you prefer, but if you want your task, your mission to go in the same level as I do, exactly the same, then try to download this Visual Studio Code. Anyway, this is the most famous code editor, I guess. I'm using Mac, so on Mac it works perfectly. You can download it, and then we can continue. Next, you need to have Node.js installed. All right, so just go to nodejs.org and install the version which suits your operating system, and that's it. And after doing these two things, we are ready, and we can actually start building our React application. All right, so after what I'm gonna do is you're gonna turn on your terminal. All right, so let's go to documents. All right, so you find a place where you want to create a folder for your application. Okay, so I'm gonna go to documents, you go wherever you want. So let's create a folder. Let's call the folder tutorials. All right, tutorials, and then let's open it up. All right, so if you haven't previously used VS Code, all right, if you are new to it, then you can just, after you install it, you can just open it as usually you opening up any programs. All right, but I have installed this shortcut, so in the terminal I'm just gonna type in code space and dot, press enter. It will open the VS Code. Oh, excuse me, not there. So documents, I need to cd, right? I need to cd to the folder that I have just created. All right, and only there I just type in code space dot, and then it opens the VS Code in the folder that I've just created. Okay, so after that, what we do, you can still continue using this terminal. All right, but me personally, I'm more used to using the terminal, which is built inside the VS Code. For it, you just go on top, you click terminal, and then you say new terminal. All right, so the VS Code, this tool, this code editor, has the integrated terminal, which is actually the same as using your computer's terminal, but just for I mean, it's easier for me to use the VS Code integrated with the terminal integrated with VS Code. So once you are in here, we need to install React. Yeah, we need to initiate the React in our computer, so as we can work with it. So what you have to do is make sure you are in the folder that you have created, and then type in npx. We can say create dash react dash app, and then let's give it a name. All right, where we want to install it. So let's create another folder. Let's call it let's say my first tutorial. All right, let's call it something else. You can call it whatever you want. Press enter and wait a bit. Once it installs all the necessary dependencies, modules, everything in that folder, all right, it downloads it, it installs it, and then we can continue. All right, so it's not gonna take long, or I guess usually it takes, depending on the speed of your computer and internet connection, it might take a while, like 2-3 minutes. I might actually pause the video in here and get back to you once it's installed. Okay. Alright guys, seems like everything has been installed successfully. You might see these some suggestions that it gives us. Alright, npm start, npm run build. Alright, it means that happy hacking, so it's been installed successfully. Alright, next thing what you need to do is you can just close your IDE and then open it in the folder that we have just created, or you can just cd into the folder that we created using the terminal. Alright, it's up to you. So we go my first tutorial and then click on enter. Alright, so now once we are in the folder where all the dependencies and the React has been installed, we need to type in the simple command npm run start. Click on enter and this will initiate the base application for us. Okay, so we click on Y, yes, I mean, and the local host, it might be 3000 3001. All right, whatever. So now we have our local host of our base application initiated, and we can create, basically we are gonna be creating our application at this address, okay, before uploading it to the internet and the actual server and making it accessible to anyone who has internet connection. So we're gonna be working in here. So you can see this main page by default for any React.js application. It says edit, whatever, this file. We have this icon in here. Don't worry, we're gonna touch it step by step and you will understand it all easily. So first of all, after this has been installed and the base application has been initiated, we want to keep our node running. So you just click on this plus icon and we have this new terminal created for us while having the node running as well. So again, let's enter the folder that we have created, which is called, if you have forgotten, it's here, right? My first tutorial. So my first tutorial again. All right, now we are in the folder, and if we click on this icon, we'll see the structure of the folder, what has been installed, right? When we ran the npx create react app command, it has automatically installed some dependencies. It has created folders, all right, that we are going to work with to create our decentralized application. So readme, let's just go through all these folders and try to understand each of them. So this readme folder we don't need, package.json we don't need, package log.json we don't need. Depending on whatever yarn or npm it uses, it might create a yarn log or package log, whatever, so it doesn't matter. You just don't pay attention to it. This git ignore, if you are a programmer, I mean experienced, you know how to use it, what is it, but in our case we definitely don't need it. So this package.json, this is actually important. It's super important for any node based project. All right, so it governs what dependencies need to be installed, some configurations that has to do with application execution. All right, so you can put scripts in here, everything. All right, so this folder is very important. All these dependencies that have been installed, they are later on being kept in these node dash modules. All right, everything is in here. So we don't touch it for now. Later on, if we want to write some scripts, okay, add some scripts, or if we install some additional dependencies, that we're gonna go back to this package.json folder. But for now, because our task is to just simply get ourselves familiar with React, we don't need this folder, we don't touch it. And basically the two folders that we are gonna use is this public folder and also this source folder. Okay, so the source folder is the safe haven. We are gonna work in this folder. The 90% of work is being done in here and in the public folder. So the public folder is there to tell us what files it needs to incorporate in the final build of your static HTML web application, meaning that you just put in here all the files like logos, HTML files. The favicon or this manifest JSON is here. You can have any other information like related to your application, such as pictures and stuff like that. You can put in this public folder. Sometimes you are writing the code, you want to copy paste it, save it somewhere, you can just put it in this public folder. It doesn't have the direct impact on your front end. Okay, the most important file in this folder is this index.html, which basically tells us all this HTML. This is a basic HTML document, right? If you are familiar with HTML, if you know it, it's just this char sets, this name, content, the metadata of it. You can change here the description. We can come in here. It's just the title is called React app. It has been initiated in here, right? You see here is called the React app, so we can just basically change it. The title of our website, you can call it my tutorial. All right, once we save it and then we go back, we see that it has been changed to my tutorial. So this is the basic HTML file. You can delete the comments, you can play around by changing these logos, the favicon, icons, all this stuff. You can add the description of your website in here, you can play around, but this is the simple HTML stuff. For now, we just don't touch it. Only thing you do, you just come and change the title, and that's it. After that, we go back to our source folder. In here, what we have in here, so the source folder, let's just come in here, and all these logos and the setup tests these files are for running tests. We are not gonna touch the concept in here, so we can just come in here and delete it. We delete this one, move to trash. This one we also don't need. Let's see which ones we don't need. We don't need this logo SVG. And the app test.js we don't need. Just trying to keep it simple, okay guys, so not complicated. So we delete all of it, and once we do so, all right, let's close this public folder, open the source folder. Now we are left with 4 files: app.css, app.js, index.css, index.js. However, if we go back, we'll see that it's broken now. And the good thing is, if we don't know why, all right, we can either come in here and it will tell us, it will give us a hint of why it's breaking, or we can use our terminal. We can click back on this node and we'll see that something is going wrong in here, and it's obviously clear because we have deleted some files that have been using in the code, and that's why it's breaking now. And as it tells us, we come in here, app.js, we have deleted the logo, so we're gonna get rid of the logo from here. And here underneath this header section, we have in this image that has also been using the logo, which we have deleted, so we're gonna get rid of it also. And then if we come to index.js, we see that we have deleted this report web vitals file, which has been imported in this index.js, and it cannot find it, so it gives us an error. It's unable to compile it because the file is not there anymore. We have deleted it, so we're gonna get rid of this line as well. After we save it, and here you see one more place, we just delete all this stuff, save again, let's see, here we save it, okay, one more time, and that's it. All right, and if we go back, we see that now we are rendering it, but we have deleted this logo icon, so but still it's getting compiled successfully. All right, so let's delete this styling as well, because I don't think we are not gonna touch the styling in this video. All right, so we don't need it as well. All right, now it's simple. We have app.js and then we have index.js. All right, we just have these two files in here. Now app.js, what is app.js? It's provides the logic, all right, the functionality of our component, because React, it's a component driven, all right, it's a component driven, and the app.js, it provides the functionality of the component. If we come to index.js, we'll see that all right, so we don't have this index, so we can delete it. So as it doesn't complain. And in here again we have deleted some stuff, so let's import delete it also, compile. All right, now it's good. So in here we can see like index.js. What is index.js? It's the entry point of our application. All right, so remember, every time the index.js is the entry point of our application, and then we can have different components such as app.js. We can have lots of them, and all of them are being exported. You see, export default app. So you can create, and we're gonna create one more component in this video. Once the component is created in here, this is a functional component, right? It's being exported and it's being imported. You exporting it from here and then catching it up right in the index folder. You see, you are importing it now. Import app from app. You are importing it, and then what it might look like a simple HTML tag, right? So this component, you just as a simple HTML tag, you put it in here so as it can render. All right, so whatever you see here, let's just all right, it says app.js and save to reload. Let's see what all right, so yeah, we have, because we have deleted all these all stuff in here, and that's why it shows us this way, but don't worry, you will understand. So whatever we have in here, this app, all right, app, and app is this app.js. Okay, so whatever is written in here, because we are exporting it from this component and then importing it in our index.js, in our entry point, in our gateway, and then we are rendering it. So in here on our front page, we see whatever is written in our app.js. Okay, so if we come in here and we just delete everything inside this return, all right, we're not returning anything. And right in here, if we just type in some paragraph, let's type in here hello world. All right, if we save it and then we go back, we'll see, you see, hello world shown on the main page. Okay, so why? It's because we have only one component, all right, app.js, and in app.js, instead of returning all that stuff that was written in there, we just have one simple p tag saying hello world, and then this functional component, we are exporting it by default, and then we are importing it in our index.js, which is the gateway, yeah, the entry point, and then we are rendering it in here. So obviously we have it shown in here, whatever is written, which is hello world. So to make the point clearer, we can just come in here and we can create a new file. All right, let's call it second. All right, second.js. all right, second.js, meaning that it's our second component. So this is our first component, and this is our second component. So in here is written the functional component. We can change it a little bit and come in here and we can write for example, we can call it here, what it was called, function app. So we can come in here, we can call it let's call it const, and then we have second. All right, and then we use these arrow functions, which are the modest way, the newest way of writing down components. All right, so arrow functions, we can use them, and in here we can return something. Once we return, we can type in here another p tag and type in hi. All right, and then on the bottom we just again export default second. Okay, we save it in here, and then we go back to our index.js, and just like we have been importing app, we can just go and say import second. All right, from where is coming from second, right? Coming from second, the file name is second, and in here we just don't need to specify .js, we just need to write app second, and that's enough. Okay, and after it we're gonna use it, right, just like the way we have been using this app component. So let's type in underneath this app component, let's render our component that we have just created, right, second.js. So just type in here second. Okay, so that's it. If we save it now, and what do you think we're gonna see if you look at the main page? obviously we had this hello world, all right, which was coming from this app component, and we have what we have hi coming from the second component. So if we go back, we'll see hello world, and right beneath it we see hi. All right, so that's basically what components are. Okay, so instead of typing all the code inside this index.js, all right, so we create different components, and then we export those components, we import them back in this index.js file, and then simply render them in this render section of it, and that's it. So that's what we can have: a website, we can have the left bar, right bar, we can have the footer, header, whatever we create. All these components can be, all these content of the website can be written and placed within those components, and then one by one exported and imported in this index.js, and then rendered and shown on the main page. Alternatively, for you to understand, we don't actually have to do it this way. What we can do is basically we can just catch this, I mean, inside in here, for example, just for you to show, right, just show in the second JS. So we can come in here, we can delete this import second. Okay, we can delete it from here, we can delete it from here as well, and then we can come in here. All right, so let's add a div. Okay, let's add a div. Let's take all this stuff. All right, let's take it from here, put it in a div. Okay, and then if we just copy this div from here and come back and paste it underneath app, all right, we save it. If we save it and save it in here as well, I mean here, sorry, if, oops, sorry what I'm doing, yes, if we just save it, okay, here, if we save it and we go back, we'll still see that it's not breaking and it's showing hi. Okay, so take a look at here, index.js. We are not exporting our second component, we are not importing it in here, we are just, what we are doing is the content of the second component. All right, we are just copying the content of it, which is a simple div and a p tag, and then we are just pasting this component to render in the index.js, and it still works, it still renders. So that's for you to understand that all this is being done, these components are being exported and imported for simplicity, because imagine all these components and it's just a simple p tag, or just imagine what's the real website is gonna look like: so many tags, divs, spans, and all this HTML is called JSX, right, what we are using. Everything in here is so complicated, you don't understand anything. So that's why this React was created, because it's based on components and it just simplifies the job. Okay, so alternatively, the third thing I want to mention in here is that you might see in some places that they have this app.js, this one component in here, and then you have many other components. You export all these components into app.js, and then only app.js export to index.js and render it there. So this is also stuff, this managing of the components, the structure of components is another topic, and you have lots of stuff to do in React, such as I mean, for React you have these hooks, you have the state, you have you take advantage of the state, view state, use effect, you have pop drilling, all this stuff. Some part of it we're gonna touch during our course when we'll be creating the real decentralized applications. We'll learn a lot from it, because on the actual practical part of it we'll touch these concepts and use them. All right, these state different hooks that are present in React. Okay, however, if you want to know get the deep knowledge in React, you better take some courses, as I have said already, dedicated to React. React, okay? However, if you are not going to become a serious React developer, but you just need to know React in order to be able to create your decentralized blockchain applications, then basically just following me along will do the job, and you will know and you will learn everything that is required from you to create a decentralized application. So in today's video is now getting already too long. I hope that I have managed to explain to you the very basics of React. All right, get yourself familiar with it. So after this video, you can watch it several times if you need to. You must be already familiar in a way how to install React, what these folders are, all right, how the React is being structured, these folders, what folders you touch, what folders you don't touch, and how these app.js, index.js, how they are working to render your front page part. And from the next video, we are going to touch the blockchain, because up to now this is just Web 2. It has nothing to do with blockchain and dApps at all. This is just simple Web 2 programming stuff. But from the next video, we're gonna continue on top of it, on the basis of it. We are gonna I'll come up with an idea of what decentralized application to create, and we will create our first decentralized application and start installing MetaMask and get our hands on the blockchain. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope it did help you a little bit, and hopefully will get it easier and you'll learn much more in the upcoming videos. That's it for today. Save your work, make sure you save it, and see you all guys in the next video. Thank you.